Hello everyone, this is Abimbola Kiyomi Iliokoya on Now That You Are Married. I want to say congratulations to everyone that is married and is a parent out there, because it's a great privilege to be a parent. It's not everyone that is married that eventually becomes a parent. So if you are married and then you are a parent, then that's double congratulations. But I would like to let you know that these children are not your property. You are just custodians. And then someone gave those children to you, and he also expects you to raise them in a way that will be profitable to you, profitable to humanity. And that brings us to parents as positive role models in the lives of their children. When you talk about a role model, you are talking of someone of influence, someone that either directly or indirectly becomes an object of emulation by others, someone that people aspire to be like. You find some people watching a movie and then they just desire to talk the way a particular person talks. They desire to move the way the person moves. What that means is that that person has become a role model even to the person aspiring to be like him or her. So as parents, we are expected to be positive role models to our children. We're supposed to be people of influence, positive influence upon them. A lot of times, parents make assumption that children are not watching. You can do something 100 times and keep wondering if your children actually noticed or understood what you've been doing. But you wait until you don't do it correctly one time, and then the child comes up and says, no, that's not how to do it. That's when you realize that they actually learn and observe parents more than they observe or learn from any other person. The first form of education a child would have is from the home. Before, thank God for new parents now that take their children to schools at the age of 2, even some younger than that. But the first set of attitude, ideas, character that a child would form will be influenced greatly by the parents. Why? Because they are the set of people that the child sees over a long period of time, day in, day out. They see the way you do things, the way you talk, the way you react to issues, the way you deal with your spouse, the way you deal with neighbors. They are watching. And this is jet age. They learn faster. In those days, when a child is born, you have to keep checking on the day of naming to see if the child is opening his or her eyes. But these days, right from the delivery suit, their eyes are wide open, telling you that things are changing. They're learning faster. They know more than you think they know. If you want to prove that, just drop your phone and watch your 3-year-old child pick up that phone. Those areas you have never opened on that phone, you find a child playing a game that you never knew existed there. That is telling you that they are learning pretty fast, faster than you were learning when you were their age. That is telling us something, that parents must consciously watch what they do in the presence of their children. Even those things you assume they don't know, when you go to the corner of your room, they do know, they know. They know. Now, as parents, you must have an understanding that you have greater influence over your children, more than any other person. Even the peer group, many people attribute peer group pressure when a child goes wrong. You have more influence. And while they are still at home, that's when you can actually impact them. Right values. Let them have right attitude, right character. So that when they get out there, they will be good ambassadors of your family. So the role of parents in the life of a child cannot be overemphasized. How do we go about it? You must strategize. There are strategies. What I mean by that is that there are strategies you can use to have positive influence over your children. Number one is that you first of all examine your own life. You can't give what you don't have. How are you relating with your spouse? How are you relating with your neighbors, with friends? How do you react to issues? Are you the abusive kind of parent? Do you use foul language in your home? The day you hear that from your child, you shouldn't be surprised, because you're getting back what you have inputted into the life of that child. We must teach them ethical values. Teach them to show respect to others. Teach them to be grateful and say thank you, please, sorry. They must be respectful. Your parents impacted all of this in you. You know, some of these things we exhibit were not actually learned in the four walls of a classroom. You were taught by your own parents, and you expected to in turn impact it upon your children. Teach them to be grateful for what they have. Teach them to be contented with whatever they have. And that will help them to appreciate life. And when they get out there, they will begin to exhibit it subconsciously. Never have it behind your mind that they are not learning. They learn day by day. It reminds me of something that happened many years, over 20 years ago. You know, my husband had a friend that would come in at a particular time, and they had a name, they were calling each other. You know, and we had a little child. Even I don't call him, I wasn't calling him that name. But one day, the man just walked in from the door, and one of my children just called him. We were all very shocked, a young girl. You know, that is to tell you that they learn. She had never responded, she had never called the dad's friend that name. But on that day, the man walked in, and then she remembered, oh, this is what my daddy calls this man. And then she raised her hand and called him by that name. Everything we do, everything we say, every attitude we exhibit, our children are picking it. So watch what to say, watch what to do in their presence. And when you are wrong, please apologize for your mistakes. That's another strategy. Don't play macho before your children. You are not a perfect being, and they know it, that you're not perfect. When you do anything wrong, please apologize to them. The fact that you're a parent does not mean you can't be wrong. You're not a perfect being, and these children understand it. You have wrongly accused a child of doing something he or she didn't do. When you come to that realization, you should be able to apologize. Oh, I'm sorry, darling, I didn't know you didn't do it. Now I know. They will respect you more. They will learn that it is possible for you to go wrong at one time or the other, but that you accept, you own up to your wrong and apologize, and then you move on. That's a key thing in life. You don't play a perfect role model to them. Be yourself and influence them, even without opening your mouth to speak. They are watching you. They are watching you. Don't ever think one child is too young. In fact, the story of a woman that the young child just walked up and said, Mom, somebody told me I'm no more a virgin. Can you imagine a 5-year-old coming to tell you that? And the parent, who told you that? He said, yes, my classmate told me because I left the door of the toilet open when I was using it and a boy passed. If your child comes to tell you that, what are you going to do? Now imagine if that child had spoken to a wrong person to say, oh, I had this, and the person says, come, let me check and confirm if you're still a virgin. There's nothing too big or too small to discuss with your children. Start giving them sex education. They need to learn it from you. Don't wait until unsolicited teachers give them wrong ideas about sex. Teach them the little they need to know. Some parts of your body are called private, some are not private. Let them know what to do, so that when they get out there, they'll be able to influence others, and nobody will be able to influence them negatively, because you would have given the right values and the right teachings to them right within the four walls of their home. Then be consistent. When you give set rules, ensure that there is compliance on the part of your own children. When you tell them to do a thing, stand your ground. You know, this happens a lot of time because the mother is being unnecessarily partial when it comes to, you know, putting her foot down. The father should be firm. You should train them in one voice. Train them. When the rule is broken, consequences should be faced. And when you're doing that, the child knows that, see, I'm going through this because I did this. enforce consequence when a child is disobedient. If you let them go, they say, no, it's just a little child. That child will do worse another time. And then be loving to them. Let them know what it means to love. So that when they are corrected, they will know they are being corrected in love. You let them know that you love them. It's not just in the word that you express. In your attitude, let them know you love them. In the way you react to them, let them know you love them. Some children can look at their parents and know, I know you don't love me. Because probably that parent has exhibited one attitude that gave an impression of hatred to the child. Show love to your children. You know why? Because they're actually yours. And in everything you see in that child, there's a bit of it that actually was gotten from you. Don't be too harsh on them. Let them see you as their supermodel. That they run down and say, oh, daddy, this just happened. And I told somebody, my daddy will be coming to face with you. You know, let them have confidence in you. Let them see you as their mini God. Let them feel free to converse with you, to tell you things happening around them. You are expected to be their role model. You are expected to be their guidance because they actually need guidance. Children need guidance. They need someone to direct their affairs, to teach them what to do at any point in time. A child is approaching puberty. You should be able to teach that child, if it's a female or a male, what it means to have arousal. You find a child of 8 years already menstruating. So that's telling you, even if you watch some of these television programs, you find teenagers that are already parents at early teen age. That is telling us that there's a very high level of speed in maturity in the lives of our children. So teach them little things that they need to know. Teach them about hygiene. Teach them the risk of playing with what is unexpected of them, and then the consequences. Because if you don't tell them and they fall into error, not only will they pay for it, you will share when they begin to pay for it. The responsibility of being a role model is not only to impact your children. As you begin to desire and begin to present yourself as a positive role model, not only will you build the right values in your children, it will also help in molding your own life too. It will help you to develop good character. It will help you to, you will not just be an influence over your children, but even over the entire society. You know, as the saying goes, when you have strong family units, it builds strong communities, and then you have a very strong nation. So your role as a role model, a positive one, is of very great importance in the life of your children. I saw a video clip that showed two little children, one acting as a pastor and the other one acting as a member of the congregation. And the little boy held something like a microphone. He went on and on preaching, and then he started praying. And then suddenly he laid hand on the younger sister. You know, everybody laughed about it. But it was a reflection of what they were seeing in their family. You can conclude that it's either the parents are constant church attendants, or that the parents are actually ministers. And then imagine a little child playing and then mimicking to be a tout, mimicking to be smoking. That will also tell you who the parents are or the environment in which the child is growing. What would you rather see in your child? Pour out yourself, the positive side of you, into your child. Whether you say it verbally or you act it, don't ever forget, your child learns by what you do. I want to hear your opinion. Maybe you have diverse opinion. Yes, of course, you can have a contrary opinion. Let's share it. Let's have it. Send in your mail. Put up a call. Let me hear what your opinion is. Let's talk about it. And as you do that, we'll all learn even the more. Thank you for your time. I look forward to having you again. I remain Abimbola Kiumi Iliokoya on Now That You Are Married. I look forward to having you again. I remain Abimbola Kiumi.